At the beginning of the movie, we observe a vast water surface. A girl stands on the shore while her feet are caressed by the salty waves. A small scar is visible from under the bracelet on her wrist. Roxanne is approached by her grandfather, who hands her the flippers with a smile. The girl puts them on and dives underwater. Roxana grows up and listens to lectures about marine fauna at the university. The lecturer also tells about the monstrous pressure that occurs at a depth of 30 meters. After the class, the heroine goes out and photographs a poster with invitations to a diving masterclass. It will be conducted by the world champion Pascal Gauthier. Roxanne gets home and decides to have a little snack. Her mother criticizes her for doing it standing up. Juliet asks why her daughter stopped seeing a psychologist. Roxanne declares that she no longer needs it. The heroine goes to the train station and gets on the train. Roxana writes to her mother that she went to a friend's house for the weekend. The heroine actually sleeps on the beach. In the morning, a man named Tom tries to wake her up. Roxanne tells that she came to Gauthier's masterclass and learns that one of the instructors is standing in front of her. In the afternoon, the participants travel to the island of Pokerol. Tom tells them that the essence of diving is to stay calm underwater and to realize how much air you have left. The man also tells the rules: only dive in pairs, stay calm, and don't try to dive the deepest. After the briefing, Pascal appears in front of the students. The man tells about another very important rule: you need to learn to control your fear, and then being underwater will be very different. The students put on suits and practice swimming. Tom looks after the heroine and advises her to keep air in her throat. Pascal jumps into the water and dives so deep that he is almost invisible. The instructors tell that he has a knack for pain tolerance, and so he dives where ordinary people cannot. In the evening, the boat with the students docks at the shore. Tom follows the heroine and says he guessed that this is not her first time diving. Roxanne admits that as a child she dived in the sea with her grandfather. Tom asks the heroine to come to their dinner and promises that he can find a room in the hostel. Roxanne appears in the restaurant and immediately attracts the attention of Pascal. The man follows her to the restroom, where they are alone. When Pascal returns to the table, his girlfriend Tamara gets angry and runs away. The next day, the man takes Roxanne with him and offers to go swimming. Pascal remains satisfied with the heroine's diving and takes her on his team. Stefan tells Roxanne that today the man is going to dive to a depth of 172 meters, which is 2 meters more than the world record. Tom explains that it is very dangerous, as is any diving without limits. Pascal will be dived to the correct depth and then retrieved using a special device. In addition, at every 40 meters, someone will ensure the man and a doctor will be present. The heroine anxiously and admiringly watches the preparations for the dive. Before diving, Pascal takes air into his lungs and winks at Roxanne. The man manages to complete the dive and remain unharmed. However, one of the divers named Matthew dies. On shore, Stefan chats with Pascal and hints that he knows the tragedy was not an accident. During Matthew's funeral, the man realizes that he needs another safety net team member. Pascal proposes a heroine for this role, which makes Stefan very angry. In the evening, Roxanne sits with her new boyfriend by the water. Pascal warns that, having become part of the team, the heroine will not be able to continue her studies and will rarely see her family. The man continues to prepare for the competition and at the same time trains Roxanne to be an assistant in his team. Pascal manages to dive in the competition and break the world record. After that, the man remains alone with Roxanne. In the evening, the heroine calls her mother and tells her about her new relationship. Juliet is angry at her daughter, believing that she let her life go to hell for the sake of some next guy. The heroine hangs up the phone and goes with the team to a party. The next day, Pascal learns that his record has been broken. One of the champions has dived to 174 meters. The man is not discouraged and says that he can cope with such depth. In the evening, Pascal wanders along the beach with the heroine. In a new place, the man again prepares to dive. This time the depth becomes 176 meters. The team prepares for the dive and distributes the insurers. This time Roxanne finds herself at a greater depth. Pascal descends to the right depth but faints during the ascent. The team gives him first aid and takes him to shore. The doctor advises Pascal to stop diving or it will end badly. However, the man replies that he lives it and is not ready to stop. Pascal goes outside and offers the heroine something to do. The man takes Roxanne to her first training session to prepare her for the competition. A month later, the heroine finds herself at them and dives to a depth of 56 meters. Roxanne sets a new record among women in France. After the competition, the heroine encounters Juliette. She admits that she is proud of her daughter's success, like her grandfather. At night, Roxanne has a nightmare where she suffocates underwater. The heroine leaves the room and sees Pascal sitting thoughtfully in an armchair. On the second day of the competition, one of the girls breaks the record again, diving to a depth of 178 meters. Pascal demands that the judges allow him to dive to 180 meters, but is refused. In the evening, the man comes to the awarding ceremony, but looks at Roxanne with the medal and Naomi, who dive to 178 meters, rather hostilely. When everyone starts clapping, Pascal goes outside, upsetting the heroine. After the ceremony is over, Roxanne has an argument with the man and asks him not to try to break Naomi's record, but to let the body rest. Pascal leaves and does not pick up the phone all evening. In the morning, Roxanne learns that the man decided to be alone and drove away. Stefan tells her that Pascal is not allowed to compete because of fainting, because if they start, they do not disappear anymore and pose a strong danger. The man trains Roxanne and says that she has a real talent. Soon the heroine gives an interview and learns that she is gaining popularity. Roxanne is happy to see Pascal in the crowd. However, he remains aloof and angry at the heroine for flirting with the journalist. The next day, Pascal gathers the team and suggests that the heroine break a world record. Stefan and Tom think that it is too dangerous and are about to leave. However, Roxanne asks them to stay and says that she herself decides to dive to greater depths. In the evening at dinner, the heroine tells Pascal that her father took his own life. Roxanne becomes obsessed with this topic and decides to cut her wrist. Then her grandfather rescued her and taught her how to dive. The heroine admits that Pascal is dearer to her than all the awards. After that, the couple remains alone. When Roxanne offers to quit diving, the man gets angry, believing that the best do not give up, and leaves again. The heroine visits a bar and invites Tom there. Roxanne is aware of her boyfriend's cheating and begins to think that it was for nothing that she once chose Pascal. Tom tries to calm her down, but the heroine kisses him. The guy pulls away and suggests not to do something that Roxanne might regret later. The next day, the heroine dives to 176 meters without any problems. Pascal applauds Roxanne and then declares that he is going to dive to 180 meters. The man faints again, rising from the depths. Roxanne tries to convince him to leave, but Pascal demands that they stay, as the competition will soon take place. In the evening, the heroine spies her boyfriend and sees him with his mistress. Upset, Roxanne comes to Tom and says that she can no longer stay in such a relationship. The heroine agrees to dive to great depths with a guy and then finish her career. After that, Roxanne stays with Tom. Early in the morning, the heroine gets on a moped and returns home. Roxanne begins to pack her things and yells that she is leaving Pascal. The man breaks the mirror and swears that he loves only her. The heroine gives up and realizes that she still loves Pascal. After that, the couple goes to practice. Pascal discreetly swipes messages from Tom off the heroine's phone. Another month later, the couple answers questions at a conference. Roxanne notices among the guests Pascal's mistress and leaves in upset feelings. The time before the competition, the heroine spends alone, trying to pull herself together. Finally, Day X arrives. Roxanne sits on the sidelines while Pascal assigns insurance and learns about the equipment check. The man decides to support his champion, but she continues to remain silent. Passing by Tom, Pascal gives him an embittered look. Afterward, the guy notices Pascal sitting near the equipment. The man assures Tom that he was just checking everything one more time. Before diving, Pascal kisses the heroine, but she looks at him coldly. Roxanne successfully dives to 180 meters, but the mechanism that lifts her turns out to be faulty. The insurer tries to come to the rescue, but all is in vain. Roxanne swims away from the cable and looks at the abyss opening up before her. In it, The heroine sees floating creatures, for whom such depth is not the limit of possibilities. On the surface, Stefan and the rest of the insurers begin to worry, as Roxanne has been gone for too long. The device rises to the surface without the heroine, and the underwriters dive to pull her out. One of the men says that Roxanne has been underwater for almost 7 minutes. Pascal stares tensely into the water. After another minute, the unconscious Roxanne is spotted, and they try to pull her to the surface. Hearing this, Pascal rushes into the water. The insurers pull Roxanne to the surface and give her to the doctors, hoping that they will be able to bring her back to life. However, the medics are unable to save the heroine, as she has been underwater for too long. A rescue boat takes Roxanne and her team to the shore. Tom is summoned by 2 policemen. They tell him that the air tank, which was supposed to lift Roxanne, turned out to be empty. Tom swears that he and Stefan have checked everything thoroughly several times. Pascal is called in for questioning, but he is not charged with anything. Flying out of the country, Tom looks at the man and realizes that it was he who took Roxanne's life. The heroine's grandfather, having learned of the tragedy, goes out to sea on a boat and cannot hold back his tears. At the end of the film, we learn that the film is based on real events and is dedicated to Audrey Mestre, who lost her life when she decided to dive to a depth of 171 meters. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.